This video is a response to the YouTuber Lots of Games and his video on the hardcore versus the casual gamer. Alright, excuse me as I try to figure out the camera for a second. Here's the way I look at the whole gamer situation. Okay, there are effectively two types of gamers. Okay, the hardcore and the casual. That we can establish that, I think. Here's the way I look at it. The hardcore type of gamer, and this is just my opinion, the hardcore type of gamer is the type of person that'll play your God of Wars, your Final Fantasies, your Dragon Warriors, and so forth. And your Call of Duties, and Battlefield Bad Company, etc., etc., etc. Okay? That's the way I look at a hardcore gamer, or a guy that pretty much buys every game he or she can physically get their hands on. Which at some point you're addicted, you need therapy, but that's another story. A casual gamer is a person whom, in my opinion, again, this is all my opinion, that person will generally play the games that, are like, your Marios, your Zeldas. So they'll basically play the games which are the most well known. Whereas a hardcore gamer, this is, in my opinion, plays games which they'll play your well-known games and they'll play your niche games. A well-known game like your Zelda, your Mario, your Metroid, your God of War, your Little Big Planet now, your Final Fantasy, your Dragon Quest. But they'll also play games like your Sudekis, your Personas before, in my opinion, it really blew up with Fez. With Persona 3, rather. Let me think here. Your Super Monkey Balls. Whatever game that doesn't get the mainstream publicity. Which, by the way, I think is a crying shame that a lot of games don't. But that's another argument altogether in another video. In my opinion, your casual gamers don't really stray too far from certain types of genres. They'll play your Maddens, they'll play your let me think. They'll play your NBA games, your NCAA footballs. If I kept every game I've acquired over the years, first off, I'd start to be looking like Pete. I'd have a room that would end up starting to look like Pete Dorr. But second of all, when I would be playing the games, when I would have the games, you'd see that I'm not really a big fan of the mainstream. I'm a fan of, or not just a fan of the mainstream. I'll play the mainstream games, but I also play niche games because I think that certain magazines don't give the proper due to some games. Like I don't think Game Informer gave the proper due to Dragon Quest IV Chapters I Chosen, but that's just me. A casual gamer relies too much on the ratings, in my opinion. A hardcore gamer, they look at the rating and they go, Okay? But then they can buy a game and be able to judge their own and make their own opinion. While yes, I do look at YouTube for possible recommendations, after I'll buy the game, I'll sit there and I'll either go, what was the big deal? Or I'll go, yes, this person was right. Here's an example. I played Halo for 5 minutes and tried to figure out what the big deal was. Guess what, kids? I still can't. But that's neither here nor there. Now, that's part of another video. But again, there's my opinion on the whole hardcore and casual gamer. And by the way, if you're wondering, the only reason I don't spend as much time gaming as I usually do, because I'm too busy working on this thing, either doing a YouTube video or some other stuff that me and a friend are working on now. But other than that, when I'm gaming, it's pretty much non-stop for a good 10 to 12. It could be a good 10 hours, 12 hours, however long, till I put the controller down and say, alright, enough for today. And like I said, I play any game. It don't matter. You can be a very common game, or you can be what. Look, most human beings are not going. I'll promise you this right now. Most people that bought this are not going to look at any other RPG because it is the most advertised, the most widely recognized gaming series, or just game period. So they're not going to give a game like this, which by the way in Japan is called End of Eternity, a second look. They won't give a game like White Knight Chronicles a look, because why? Because Game Informer gave it a 7.25 rating versus the 9 point something that a game like Heavy Rain or Final Fantasy 13 gave it. So there's my honest opinion about rating about hardcore versus casual. I'm eager to hear what you have to say, if anything, and I'll see you around, dude. Later, man.